Alright guys, gonna jump right into this. Just want to say thank you everyone for being interested in what we have to say in our personal Q&As. It is right now April 19th. You can see it's the afternoon, got that afternoon light hitting on me. I'm in a cow field right now, guys. It was a beautiful day. There's a cow moving over there, maybe you heard him. I decided to come out here. We got my mobile office. Yeah, let me address that. So this is nice. It's gonna be nice until it falls. Hopefully it doesn't fall. We finished Sumatra in November. We went home to see our family. Rob went to New York. I went back to Hawaii. From there, I did a short trip in Japan, had an amazing time. Since then, we've been back in Bali, kind of relaxing. You guys probably have seen by now. We went to Riau, Pekanbaru, Tanjung Pinang, Bintan. We enjoyed our time out there, but now we are back in Bali. And actually tomorrow we are leaving for Java, we are leaving for Bromo. By the time you see this, maybe you'll already know, I'm not sure. If you didn't, here, right now I'm telling you. Tomorrow we're going to Bromo. It's going to be super exciting. We're working with the Department of Tourism. We're super excited. So for those of you that don't know me, I'll give you a quick little rundown. My name is Shane. I was born in Hawaii. My parents split up, moved to Georgia when I was around 2 years old. Then my mother remarried when I was around 8 years old. And ever since that point, from 8 until 23, I lived in North Carolina. And then around the age of 23, I wanted to do a working holiday visa in Australia. And I figured, hey, I'll come to Bali for a little bit. Seems like a good place to enjoy myself for a month or two, you know, before I start working on farms and all that stuff that you do in Australia. But that was March of 2020. The pandemic hit. I got stuck here, and the rest is history, right, guys? That's where we're at. So we've got a lot of really cool questions from you guys. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been following our journey. Thank you to everyone that submitted questions. There's a lot of really, really good questions that we got around this time. And yeah, so let's get after it. I'm going to answer a few questions first about Sumatra because I'm sure that is the main thing on everybody's mind. I'm going to do Sumatra, Indonesia, and then some personal questions. So there'll be timestamps. You guys can jump around and see what you want to know about Sumatra, Indonesia, personal. So let's get right into it. What are your impressions on Indonesians in Sumatra compared to Indonesians in other parts of the islands and provinces? Yeah, guys, I know we've gotten some backlash before for saying, you know, certain things. The Bataks in Sumatra, they're super outspoken, they're super bold, but it's true. And the Sumatrans, they play into that stereotype, and they know it too. You go talk to them, and they say, you know, we're very outspoken, but we're very, very sweet. You know, we're very sweet people, but we're very outspoken. And let's talk about Javanese. The Javanese, you know, and they'll talk about other Indonesians, say, you know, they're very quiet, they're very polite, but maybe like behind your back they'll be like this. So the stereotype is a little bit true. The thing about Sumatra, it's really cool, is that there's so many different areas. So in each area and pocket you go to, the people are very, very different. So in Lampung, you have that transmigration movement. So the people there are a blend. There's a lot of Balinese that we met, a lot of Javanese. So it was kind of a blend, and we didn't really notice anything too different from the ordinary. That was the same thing moving through South Sumatra, not so much. South Sumatra still seems similar. Maybe in Palembang, people are a little bit bolder than we remember. We were in some rougher areas. Bengkulu, same. Jambi, similar as well. It wasn't until we got to Padang really that we started to notice that people were a little bit different. The people were a little bit more bold. They're a lot more outspoken. And then it really reached the climax when we were in North Sumatra. I mean, the people there are just completely in your face. Not in a bad way, you know, they're not in a bad way at all. I understand not all Bataks are like that. Trust me, I understand. We know many, many Bataks. There's a lot here in Bali. But anyways, yeah, so that was a complete shock to us. You know, we've met Bataks around here, and we've always heard the stories and, you know, the driving and paling terbuka and all those things like that. But it's not until you're there that you can really, really see what's going on. When we got to Aceh, it was this complete transition. I mean, the people were completely different. The contrast was incredible. The people were very quiet. They said they don't like to be in your business. They keep to themselves. I mean, one guy in Aceh, he told me, you know, like, kalau terlalu terbuka, you know, and he did that action, you know. Sumatra, the people were very different, but they play into it. Overall, really good. The next question, they want me to compare it between Java trip and Sumatra trip. The nature, food, culture, road, etc. I think Sumatra to Java, it's a step up adventure-wise and how wild it is. Java is incredible, trust me. It is amazing for travelers. It is so much more suited for travel, I would say. You know, there's a lot of infrastructure, there's a lot of really good trains, there's homestays everywhere. You don't drive too far without seeing some sort of community, establishment, infrastructure. Sumatra, Not so much. Sumatra, we are on some crazy long drives, driving through so much palm oil, driving through so much palm plantations, and it was a step up for sure. It's more wild, it's more rugged, it's more extreme. You know, it's definitely not the most extreme in Indonesia, but it's definitely extreme for sure. Next up, would you prefer a similar trip or prefer to do several smaller adventures? Yeah, guys, so that was a big thing for us in Sumatra after we finished the trip. We realized we committed to a big trip. You know, at first we were making plans, we said maybe 6 months, that ended up stacking, and altogether I spent 9 months in Sumatra, guys, last year, which is an incredibly long time. So to keep it short and sweet, yeah, we're looking for smaller trips in the future. You know, maybe do 2 months here, 2 months there, kind of come back and relax for a little bit. It was a little much. It was an amazing adventure, trip of our lives, but I think maybe we're gonna dial it back just a little bit on the next one. Here we go. What makes you sad after traveling around Sumatra? I really like this question, guys, because not many people ask things like that. Everyone's saying, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite this? So what made me sad about traveling Sumatra? It's a reoccurring thing, and you know, I feel like we sound like broken records at a certain point, but the trash issue, guys, it's crazy in Sumatra. I mean, we see it all over. We've seen it in Bali, we've seen it in Java, we've seen it in the eastern islands that we've explored, you know, but Sumatra just seemed like another level. There was some areas with a ton of trash, and I feel like maybe we didn't expose that enough. We didn't talk about it, you know. I feel like maybe our videos are a little bit too happy-go-lucky. We're not, you know, we're on this insane, amazing hike, you know, we're on beautiful Kerinci, but, you know, look right here, there's piles of trash just everywhere, and it's filthy. So yeah, I mean, if anything, that's what made us sad to see it, and it happens a lot. I mean, what made me sad during Sumatra? Okay, Antonio leaving, that probably made me the saddest. That was a pretty big deal, you know. We had a plan, we were supposed to reach a point together, and you know, things came up and we weren't able to finish it together. So that was really sad. I mean, we missed him every step along the way for sure. Which leads into the next question, actually. Do you have a plan to meet Antonio after you finish the Sumatra trip? Guys, there's always a plan to meet Antonio. You know, I want to see Antonio so badly. I'm not sure exactly when or where. Right now, guys, if you guys do not know, Antonio is going to be doing a trip from Spain to Mongolia, potentially Indonesia. Spoiler alert, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but he is on an insane, amazing motorbike trip, guys. Go after this, or right now, go on your phone, go follow El Tita Viajando. His trip is going to be amazing. Malaga to the universe. I'm so excited for him. Helicopter. And then the last one to close Sumatra. This guy's really going for it, huh? Right over me. Might get a little bit loud. Yeah, buddy. That's sweet. He's so close. He's coming right for me. Such a slow drive-by. Maybe you guys can see him in the background, I don't know. And the last one to close out Sumatra. What made you never think about backing out of this journey? What is the motivation? Guys, if you think that we never thought about backing out of this journey, you are sadly mistaken. There was many times, there was many breaks that we took where we didn't know if we were going back. And it wasn't necessarily because the trip was too big for us, it was too extreme, but there was contrasting opinions, there's one reason or another, you know. But many times, guys, we thought about not continuing the trip for various reasons. But the motivation, I'd say the motivation is, we told ourselves that we were going to do this trip. We were going to go all the way from Jakarta to Sabang, reach Kilometer Nol. So I think that was the main motivation, you know, like we can't back out. We got to do this thing and we got to hit it hard. And we did it, which is cool. After so many times potentially going in and out, potentially stopping the trip, we did it. So that's what matters. But guys, there is tons of up and downs on the road, tons. Now we're going to move to a broader Indonesian section. These are some general questions about Indonesia. First up, we have your favorite area in Indonesia. This is a tough one, guys. I feel like favorites are such a trap. You're supposed to just pick one place. There's so many good places. You know, I don't have a favorite song, a favorite movie, a favorite book. I have groups of things that I like, you know. One that immediately comes to mind, I wouldn't say nostalgia because it's really not that long ago, But it was one of our first big trip that we really took when we first started the channel, and that was to Flores, guys. Flores was incredible, from Bajo to Ruteng, Bajawa, Kelimutu, you know. The whole place was incredible. The nature, the people, the culture, it has a special place in my heart. Another place that really sticks out is from Sumatra. West Sumatra, guys. West Sumatra was incredible for me. It had all the things that I love, similar like I just said. The nature, the food, the people, the culture. It has everything. For me, it has everything. There's so many good provinces in Sumatra. I don't think there was really a weak point. Maybe there was. I'm not gonna say it. Maybe you guys can decide for yourselves. But Sumatra was incredible, guys. Some incredible places that we went to. But West Sumatra, for me, like, we spent the most time there. It holds a very special place in my heart. It was a really good time. Next up, we have comfort food in Indonesia. Yeah, we eat a lot of Indonesian food, but the one food I will always come back to, no matter what, I can eat it every single day, is ayam bakar, guys, grilled chicken. It is a staple. It's amazing. You could put me in any country in the world, and I will be eating grilled chicken, rotisserie chicken, just chicken, man. Grilled, baked chicken. It transcends the entire world. It's such a universal food. I think every single culture eats chicken. I don't think anyone doesn't eat or like chicken. If you don't like chicken, I don't like you. Straight up. Another food question, have you eaten tempoyak? Yes, guys, we ate tempoyak in Lampung. It's actually in our video there. Yeah, you might think I'd like it because of the durian, but it does not really taste like durian all that much. It's super fermented. The one we had was quite spicy, and it's just this kind of rotten, sour, sweet, acidic taste. Is this helicopter coming back right now? Tell him to get out of here. So yeah, no for me on the tempoyak. Next up, what would you do differently if you had a chance to start over in Indonesia? Well, I did come here in 2020 when the pandemic happened, and a regret that I do have is that I didn't go to enough places, guys, during the pandemic. I know it was an absolutely terrible time for the tourism industry and all the people that work in tourism, but as a traveler, it was amazing to be able to experience a lot of touristic places in Indonesia and in Bali that would otherwise not be crowded. But there's a lot of places I did not get to go to, and now they're super crowded again and or super expensive. I've been to all these places, guys, but I've never been to Nusa Penida. It's so crazy. It's right there. It's just a short, fast ferry away, and I've never been to Penida. And now I see pictures of like Klengking Beach, and it is just filled with people. We're gonna go at some point, but I'm kicking myself that I didn't go before. Another one is Raja Ampat. Raja Ampat is incredible. The diving is insane. We had such good deals during the pandemic. Didn't take the opportunity. Rob and I thought about it. We went back and forth on it. We ended up not pulling the trigger and spending the money. Now those prices have doubled, tripled, quadrupled. So let's see when we get out there. Let's see, who knows. Next up, have you gotten sick during your trips in Indonesia? Yes, guys, I actually got severely sick on one of our trips in Indonesia. It was actually the very last trip I ever took before the channel. It was just Rob and I. We went to Java, and we had a great time in Java. I wasn't sick at all during Java, but when we came back to Bali, I started to have this pain in my chest, and I actually got tuberculosis. I took antibiotics for a good 8+ months, almost every single day, and it was a really, really long journey, and it made me really weak. I got really skinny and really, really weak for a certain period of time. And yeah, now when I take sharp inhales, you know, like a big one, I can still feel the pain a little bit right in this pocket inside my lung. It's from scarring from the tuberculosis. So I don't know. I don't know if my lung will ever be the same. It's not that bad. I can still function all right. But yeah, I got very sick. No masuk angin or anything like that. Of course, you're on the road. You get little colds here and there. Maybe you get an upset stomach, but yeah, tuberculosis, that was my big run-in with health here. And it was scary. I went to the doctor, I took x-rays, they said there's nothing there. I knew there was an issue, so I pushed it further and I got a CT scan. And they were at the point of, okay, we see these lymph nodes inflamed inside you. Our most likely guess is it's tuberculosis or lymphatic cancer. So that's where I was at for a while, guys. I thought maybe I had lymphatic cancer here in Indonesia, which was absolutely terrifying. I don't think many people go home and like pray they have tuberculosis, right? But I was really, really hoping I had tuberculosis. And unluckily I had tuberculosis, but luckily I did not have cancer. Here we go. Are you ever going to vlog with the Indonesians in the USA? Me personally, I would love to, guys. I would absolutely love to. In North Carolina, I wanted to eat Indonesian food, guys. I wanted to go to a proper Indonesian restaurant. The closest ones to me were in the state above or the state below. They were so far, probably, I think the closest one was like an 8-9 hour drive, so that was off the table. And then Hawaii really doesn't have any Indonesian communities. There's a lot of Asian communities, there's a lot of Japanese, there's Koreans, I think there's also Filipinos, but I couldn't find any Indonesians. I messaged a lot of people in Asian community groups to no luck. Rob, he's made plenty of videos with Indonesians in the United States. He went to the Food Bazaar. He collabed with some content creators there from Indonesia. So, I mean, New York has it all, guys. That's the melting pot. You'll find a person from every single country, every single walk of life there. And our last Indonesian question to close us out, what is the meaning of Indonesia for you? At this point, Indonesia's home for me. I go home and I'm so happy to see my family, but living there just doesn't feel like home. I've been here for so long. It's such a comfortable feeling, and it just feels like this is where I belong. At least for now, this feels like home for me. I'm not saying that couldn't change in the future, but right now, Indonesia means home for me. It's pretty great place. Even, you know, we plan to be doing other things, going to other countries, visiting other places, and broadening our horizons and branching out away from Indonesia. I would still always love to come back to Indonesia and call it home. Holds a very, very special place in my heart, and no matter what happens, where we go, where I go, where we end up, wherever life takes me, Indonesia's gonna have an incredibly special place in my heart. Let's jump into some personal questions. Super fun, super easy. How old are you? I am 27, guys. I am 27 years young. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people are like surprised that I'm that young, or they're surprised that I'm that old. It varies depending on probably if I've shaved my beard or not. I'll be 28 in July, which leads me to the next question. What are your zodiacs? My zodiac is a Cancer, guys. I am dead smack in the middle of July, so I'm a Cancer. They asked what everyone's zodiac is. Rob, I believe, is an Aries, and Antonio, I believe, is maybe a Scorpio, I think that's right. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, those are our zodiacs. I'm not super into astrology. I used to be into astrology and crystals and all this spiritual stuff. That was a long, long time ago, guys. Completely not. I think astrology's fun. Don't get me wrong. Astrology's fun, but I don't think you should put your entire life merit into it and put too much weight into what it says. Next up, what is something that people wouldn't guess about you? I don't know. That's a tough question, right? Because I mean, I know myself so well. It's hard to say like what people wouldn't know about me. I would think maybe people are surprised when I tell them I played the saxophone. I played the saxophone for many, many years. I was in a pretty high position, either like usually first or second chair in my school band, which is like the high, you know. I was one of the top players in my section of my instrument. Yeah, a lot of people, they look at me and they would assume, oh, you must play the guitar, you must play the drums. Nah, I play the saxophone. I remember I was really resistant to playing the saxophone when I was younger. My mom kept pushing me, and she's like, dude, this is gonna be cool. You're gonna thank me when you're older. And sure enough, thank you, Mom. Saxophone's cool, guys. Saxophone is cool. Here we go. Next up, do you have Asian background? I do have Asian background, and it's not Indonesian. It's Chinese, Hakka Chinese. It's very interesting. My grandma was actually born and raised in Jamaica, in St. Mary's Parish, to Chinese parents, guys. I really don't have a lot of roots with my Chinese ancestry, you know. My grandma and her siblings, they cook a mixture of Chinese, Caribbean food, and it's absolutely delicious, but I don't speak any Chinese. I always forget my grandma's Chinese name. I really don't have any roots to it. I would imagine that if she was born and raised in China, things would be different, but she has such like a blended influence of that Chinese and Caribbean mix. So, but yes, I do have Asian background. Next up was a cool question. What makes you proud to be an American? I thought this question was interesting. How do you assume I'm proud to be an American? Maybe I'm not. No, I am proud to be American, guys. Not in an ignorant, you know, crazy, psycho, right-wing, patriotic way. But I wasn't always that proud to be an American. I think I became more proud to be an American as I started traveling. And I think that I understand that no country has it nailed down perfectly, right? There's issues all over the world, and I've learned that from being here and meeting so many people. Yeah, we have tons of issues, and they're broadcast all over the world. We're in the spotlight 24/7. Everybody wants to point fingers and see what we're doing, and there's tons of stuff wrong there, guys. And every level, there's so many things wrong with America. But I love how it's a melting pot, you know. And it is a place where people can seek opportunity, you know. Maybe not as much as it once was, but there's still tons of people that want to go to America and make a better life for themselves. And I think immigrants that come to America, they're more proud to be American than any American I know, seriously. The immigrants that come into America, they truly embody what it means to be an American. So, yeah, I'm proud to be an American. Next up, what was your previous job? Was it okay to leave? Okay, two-part. Okay, how was your previous job and was it okay to leave? My previous job, the last job before I moved out here, I was working on a food delivery truck. I'd get up at like 4 in the morning every single day, be into work, I think like at 4:30, and just start stacking bread, putting it in a truck, and going to grocery stores and delivering it. And the way it worked, my boss slash friend, he owned the truck. You buy the product and then you make whatever you can sell to the stores. So that was nice, but I go in at 4 every single morning, be done before noon, and have my whole day. Granted, you have to go to bed pretty early, but you had your whole day. I could go to the beach almost every single day in the summertime. So yeah, I enjoyed it. That was what that was. Was it okay to leave? Yeah, it's perfectly fine to leave. I mean, I think most jobs are okay to leave, right? As long as you're not coming back. If you're just taking a vacation, you got 2 weeks in the United States, but if you're done, you put in your 2 weeks notice and you're done. Go do you. Sweating my nuts off out here. It's a little hotter than I thought. I'm starting to regret this decision. It is getting a little cooler though, so. And then the second part, they asked another question inside that. How is it not seeing your family for a long time? It's difficult, man. It's really difficult. Luckily, I do pretty well about keeping in touch with my family. I talk to my mom almost every single week, multiple times a week usually. My siblings, off and on when we can. My dad pretty frequently. My stepdad as well, maybe not as much as I should to everybody, but I try to keep in contact with them as much as I possibly can, and we have a good connection. Obviously not seeing them is pretty tough for me. Everyone's spread out all over the place. My dad and my sister, they live in Hawaii. My mom, my brother, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my grandparents, they're all in North Carolina. So basically my entire family's in North Carolina except for me in Indonesia and my dad and my sister in Hawaii. So it is really tough to see them. The first time I went back, it was 3 years since I had seen anybody, so that was incredible. And now we're trying to do it at least once a year, maybe twice a year. Let's see how it goes out. I would love to see my family more. But thankfully enough, here we go. Probably by the time you see this video, they'll be on their way over here. My sister, my mom, my aunt, and my uncle, they're all coming to Indonesia, guys. They're gonna be in Bali for my sister a month, my sister probably a month, my mom a few weeks, and my aunt about a week and a half or so. So it's really cool. I'm really excited for them to be out here. My mom's actually already been out here 2 times. My sister, my aunt, my uncle, this will be the first time. So it's gonna be great, guys. But yeah, it's tough not seeing people. That's for sure. Here we go. Next up, favorite place you've ever been, not just Indonesia. It's tough, but I gotta say Hawaii, guys. Hawaii is just amazing. It's incredible. If it wasn't for the price, I would imagine I'd probably live in Hawaii. It's just so good. Hawaii's not perfect by any means, but it feels so right to be there. The beaches are unparalleled. The water is just insane. It's amazing. The nature, there's so many hikes, there's so many things to do. The only downside is living there, you know, working there, getting rent there, dealing with traffic, things like that, but it's still my favorite place. Hawaii, hands down. Next up, I know Indonesia, but where's the best place in the USA for a holiday? Yeah, Hawaii's pretty good, guys. Hawaii is probably the best place for a holiday. It all depends what you're looking for, right? I imagine Indonesians would really like Hawaii. It's a little bit cooler than here. The weather is super, super nice. Well, you're not going to be as rainy, you're not going to be as hot, but the nature is very similar. Indonesians would love it. They would absolutely love Hawaii. There's so many good places in the United States, guys. We have so many good national parks. The United States is massive. You know what I mean? Each individual state could be its own country. There's so many different aspects to it in regards to the culture, the people, the food, the nature. So there's so many good places. I'm biased. I'd have to say Hawaii and North Carolina. North Carolina is so underrated, guys. The cost of living is really good. It's not that expensive. And we have incredible beaches, incredible mountains, and some beautiful cities. Lots of cool infrastructure. There's a lot of business and industry in our cities. There's a lot of amazing colleges and hospitals, and it's awesome. I love North Carolina. It's super underrated. Which leads to this next question. Isn't North Carolina famous for Venus flytraps? I don't know. I have no idea. My brother and my stepdad, they're very into botany and they're very into agriculture, so maybe they would know. I personally don't have any idea. The things that I think North Carolina is most famous for, Michael Jordan, Pepsi, Mount Olive pickles, and Cheerwine. Here we go. Next, if finances were not a constraint, what would be the top 2 to 3 destinations on your wish list for the next 3 years? This is an awesome question, guys. I have some things that I really want to do in the next couple years. Hopefully I can get it done within 3 years, before 3 years. I'll be really excited for that. But I really want to hike the Annapurna in Nepal. That looks absolutely amazing. I really want to drive the Ha Giang Loop in Vietnam. And I really want to go on a dive liveaboard in Raja Ampat. These are my top 3 things for the foreseeable future. Hopefully we can manifest them into coming true. I'm really excited for what's in store. I really want to do that. Shane, are you married? No, I'm not married, but I do have a girlfriend, guys. I do have a girlfriend. Had a girlfriend for over 2 years now. Things have been going really good. I really enjoy that. I'm not going to get too much into it, but yeah, I have a girlfriend. I'm taken. I'm sorry. And then the next question to lead into that is, what are the things you do to maintain your relationship when traveling to Sumatra? I assume this is definitely a girl asking this question, but the biggest thing, yeah, is communication, guys. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best at it. I really don't like to text. I don't like to communicate on my phone that much. I'd rather be in person with people. But communication is super important. And just honesty, letting people know. And just simple, I think it's the simple things, right? I'm not saying that I'm great at it, but I at least am able to recognize what I should be doing. Maybe I don't do it the best, but I think communication is important, and just the little things of checking in on them and, you know, hey, even if you can't talk all day, say, hey, you know, good morning, hope you have a great day. This is what my day looks like, blah, blah, blah. Talk to you later, you know. Just have an open line of communication both ways. Next up we have, if I wasn't a YouTuber, I would be ... That is such a difficult question to ask, because if I wasn't a YouTuber, I don't know. I would like to think I would have figured it out and maybe I would have stayed out here, but I can't say for sure, you know. If I wasn't a YouTuber, maybe I'd be doing graphic design here. Maybe I would be doing some sort of management. I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, I would like to think, yeah, I would still be able to figure out a way and I would stay out here, but if I never started YouTube, I honestly couldn't tell you where I'd be. More than likely, I would probably be back in the United States, in North Carolina, doing who knows what. Unlikely I would have gone back to school. I probably would have been working construction or, you know, a blue-collar job, but I have no idea, guys. But that's probably the most likely scenario. But what is the most meaningful thing for you from the Lost Boys channel? I think that kind of goes with the last question. The most meaningful thing for me is it's given me this entirely different perspective on life and this entirely different perspective on a work-life balance. You know, it's given me financial freedom. I'm not making as much money as I'd really like to, but it has given me some level of financial freedom to be independent and be out here and be living this life that I really do enjoy. It's not perfect, guys. Not perfect by any means. I don't think anyone would say their life is perfect, but for the most part, I thoroughly enjoy being here and I thoroughly enjoy what I do. So it's given me completely brand new eyes to what life has in store. I don't know if I could go back to doing a traditional 9-to-5 at this point. I think now I'd have to figure out a way to just stay away from the 9-to-5. But yeah, it's been incredible. It's been really nice. Next up, what is the main goal of your travels? So for me, the main goal of my travels is to experience new things, to experience new people, to just get out there and, you know, put yourself out of your comfort zone and interact with so many different people, and just do things you wouldn't otherwise do. You know, I feel so fortunate that we're getting all these novel experiences day in and day out. All the time we are seeing new things we've never seen before, meeting people we've never met before, trying things we've never tried before, and it's incredible. And that's what I really get out of travel. It's just, there's so much growth in travel. You find out a lot about the world, but you find out even more about yourself. It's incredible. Next up, we just have general reflections from 2023. Yeah, I think 2023 for me was mostly consumed by our Sumatra trip. And for me, there's different layers to it and different aspects. But for me, it kind of opened my eyes more so to what I think is important in life. And there's things, you know, as much as I enjoy making YouTube videos and entertaining and doing all this stuff, yada yada, there's things that are like far more important to that for me, you know. My friends, my family, my loved ones, you know, my relationships with them, how they're feeling, their health, mental, physically. Early on in our Sumatra trip, guys, in the first several weeks, my best friend, he died of cancer, you know, 25 years young. He passed away in his battle with leukemia. So that definitely shifted a perspective in me, you know, that we don't have a lot of time here, you know, and while you do need to take care of important things, and while it doesn't mean you put everything by the wayside, there is important things, guys, in this life that we do not realize all the time, you know. Maybe every now and then it's at the forefront and we can really bring them to the surface, but so many times we push those things back and we completely forget about them, you know. I don't think there's anybody on their deathbed that's like, oh man, you know, I wish I wouldn't have done this, or I wish I would have worked more. For the most part, people wish they would have taken more risks. People wish they would have spent more time with their family, with their loved ones, and a lot of the time people had wished they worked less. So that's not to say, you know, completely throw everything by the wayside, don't accomplish anything, but I think you have to find out what's important for you and what is worth your time and what has meaning for you in your life. And for me, the most important thing, family, friends, loved ones. So far above whatever comes underneath that, so far above. All right, here we go. Close it out. What is your next goal for 2024? Just in general, guys. We're nearly halfway through 2024. A lot of time's been consumed doing trips and going in and out and kind of recovering from Sumatra. But in 2024, I think I would like to do a really cool trip somewhere. I don't know where that is. I'd like to do a really cool trip in Indonesia. I want to do something that like really pushes me, you know. I'm really considering, and I'd really like to do a solo trip. I think a solo trip would be really cool. I just want to be out there with the bike, with my hammock, with my camping gear, and just bust around. I just want to be gone for a couple months and just do something really cool. You know, that's something I really want to do. I feel like, you know, travel is great for you, but I feel like solo travel is a completely another level. And not solo travel where you're going to hostels and you're meeting people, yada yada. I want to do like solo travel where I'm by myself. The people I'm meeting are completely different than me. They're not travelers. They're people I run into along the way on my path. So I'm really interested to do something like that. I'm really interested for what Lost Boys has in store. Yeah. I really want to figure out a way to be able to spend more time going back home and seeing my family, seeing my friends. There's a lot of events that I've missed, guys, that I really wish I could be there for. Childbirths, weddings. I have a lot of family getting old now, so I'd love to be able to be back home and be with people a lot more often than I am. But anyways, guys, that's going to close us out. I don't know how long this is. These are the top questions I found. Thank you guys so much for following us along on all of our journeys. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. Seriously, none of this would be possible without you guys. When we started this, we had no idea. We were so excited when we hit our first 1,000 subscribers, and we were just so happy with all the support we got from everyone. And now just everyone that has been there in the journey and supported us the entire way, like, I appreciate it so much, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. Thank all of you. Seriously, like I owe so much to every single one of you, and I can't thank you guys enough for enjoying us and supporting us. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it, learn a little bit more about me, where my mind's at. Yeah, to be honest, like, I don't know. We don't really have any set plans for what's happening this year. We'd love to go out of the country. We'd love to do trips. We'd love to, you know, do some really cool stuff in Indonesia and work with departments and do these awesome trips all over. But we don't know, guys. Seriously. Right now, recording this video, we have no idea what's going on. When we do, we'll let you guys know. But thank you guys so much for everything, and we'll see you in the next one.